Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice and to My Choice Tuesday. Today we're going to be listening to The Girl in 14G as performed by Kristin Chenoweth. And no, this is not my first time. I've heard this song so many times, and I just wanted to bring it onto the channel today because it is so very good. For me, this is one of those incredible performances that really is a staple of an incredible artist. And I wanted to talk about what makes it so dang good. So, Kristin Chenoweth is really at the heart of why this is so good. She has a huge reach and has done so much in her lifetime. She got her first degree in musical theater and then got another one in opera, so she's very trained. She also was runner-up for Miss Oklahoma. She was offered a full scholarship to Academy of Vocal Arts in Philadelphia, but turned it down because she got a major role in New York and decided she just wanted to go and start that career. And then after that, she did things like Glinda in Wicked, which is amazing. You should watch her do that if you haven't. And she did voiceover in a bunch of TV shows and also was on Glee. This woman just does everything. This particular song was written for her and shows her voice off extremely well by Janine Tesori and Dick Scanlon. And they wrote this for her 2001 debut solo album. And since then, she's just performed it everywhere live. So you know that this isn't edited in any way. This is her real voice. There's no tuning that's going on. It's just her being incredible. Let's get to it.
You know, when I first moved to New York, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep and I couldn't figure it out. And then I realized, it's loud! With people honking and people yelling at each other on the street. And of course there's apartment living with neighbors. I just moved in to 14G, so cozy, calm, and peaceful. Heaven for a mouse like me, with quiet by the leaseful. Pets are banned, and parties too, and no solicitations. A window seat with garden view, a perfect nook to read a book. I'm lost in my Jane Austen when I hear. Say it isn't so.
Maybe you guys get now a little bit of why I love this so much. There are these interspersed moments of opera, and later we'll get some more. And the person that sings this has to be able to execute styles and flip between them so succinctly, and it is so hard to do. I particularly love the way that Kristin finds a lot of really clear twang in her sound without it sounding pressed at all. It's just very easy. She makes everything sound light, but has tons of focus in it. This is something that she does, especially in musical theater. It's probably part of why she was able to do musical theater and not get worn out. Anybody that is able to do that for 8 shows a week, I have massive respect for. That is truly technique that is ingrained into a body like crazy. And so I love the way she just keeps it right here, kind of like, she goes a little bit nasal with it. It makes it kind of fun, have some extra character, and she's particularly good at character roles. I love the way she's just telling a story the whole time, which, by the way, again, this song is awesome, partly because it was written for her, and it's actually about her life experience. So when she moved to New York, she experienced this. This is her life story. She moved into an apartment, and lo and behold, that apartment was very noisy with very noisy neighbors, and everybody decided to be noisy together. And it's so typical of New York. I love it. So it's so much fun to hear how this story has been transferred into a song with these amazing musical elements. Speaking of the musical elements, that last opera bit we just heard, that was from Tristan und Isolde. So hey, Wagner. Right? Imagine hearing Wagner from the apartment next door. Oh boy. Let's go back. Listen to the beautiful focus on her sound. It's just spectacular.
With quiet by the leaseful, pets are banned.
effortless
and
focus.
parties too, and no solicitations. A window seat with garden view, a perfect nook to read a book. I'm lost in my Jane Austen when I
Okay, I love it so much. I love the way she flips there. So she's got so much twang in the sound. That means it's really, really, really far forward at this point. And the back here, there's less space. It's helping everything come forward. And then when she goes to opera, she just brings in the dome. It's like, let in the dome, everyone. As much dome as possible. We're going to operify this. I love it. I love it because a lot of people just don't have the access to be able to go boop and then go, oh, it's so much at the same time to be able to access. So it's very impressive how quickly she flips there and how actually operatic it sounds. It doesn't sound like somebody faking opera. It is opera and it's great. Also, I'm going to go back just a little bit more. There's this little gasp she does in it. And it's something that's so fun to watch about her as an artist. She adds in little sounds that become a part of that role. She did this everywhere with Glinda. And here she does this little gasp like that. That's not in the music. That's just her adding a little extra sound to be expressive. A lot of times people in classical music, musical theater sometimes too, they feel that they need to follow the music exactly. So when you get a breath of fresh air, literally, it is exciting and it's fun and it's her and I love it. Okay, back a little bit. Oh, back a little bit more.
a perfect nook to read a book. I'm lost in my Jane Austen when I
love Jane Austen.
Say it isn't so. Not the flat below. From an opera wannabe in 13G. A matinee of some cantata, Wagner's Ring and Traviata.
Okay, we're gonna go back a little bit. When she says, say it isn't so, she even goes off the pitch just a tiny bit to add some more expression in there. And I love the way this is just like a very, very narrow light belt. Such beautiful focus again.
Say it isn't so.
It's so funny.
Below.
She's hysterical.
From an opera wannabe in 13G. A matinee of some cantata, Wagner's Ring and Traviata.
Yeah. The really fun thing about that segment is that it was a combination of the magic flute, Queen of the Night aria, which you guys might have seen a reaction analysis to of Diana Damrau performing that. So a little snippet of that. And that had a little more Wagner in the center. And then there's a little something at the end that pretends to be a little bit of Mozart again. It's just hilarious. So this combination going between even two different opera styles is really tough. I like, she has already a coloratura voice. So she's able to reach these high notes. It's high. And all of the musical theater portion, which is the main portion of the character that she's playing, that's been sitting kind of like mid-lows. So it's fascinating to hear how she's able to keep so much focus on the sound in the mid-lows and then go up high and still have a lot of volume, have a lot of focus, and not really overpower us. I do love the way she turns to the side often to also indicate that this is the opera singer. And I think that might help with redirecting some of the volume that happens during these opera sections. So let's check this out again. And the pitches in there weren't exactly perfect, but they were pretty dang close. They're really, really, really good. And I like that she even gives it the sense of like, this is a ridiculous neighbor with her emotions. And also in the way she's attacking the notes. Those last few notes were just like, oh my gosh, she won't stop. You really get that impression. It's brilliant. It's totally brilliant. I could still talk about that part more, but we're going to keep going.
My first night in 14G, I'll put up.
I forgot how hilarious her face was at that moment. You even see with the hair, like, oh my goodness, I can't do this. This opera singer. I've been that opera singer for so many people in my life. I just want to claim that title right now.
My first night in 14G, I'll put up with Puccini. I'll brew myself a cup of tea. Crochet until she's feeny. 8:30, not a...
Oh, there's all of the expression here is priceless. I love the way she kind of kept it flat and focused, not much vibrato happening in the My First Night in 14G put up with Puccini, like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do with this person? But then she got the idea of the cup of tea and she lightened it up a little bit. She added a little more air into the sound, like, oh, I know what I'm gonna do. And you can really hear how the tonal and the timbral shifts as they're going along. They're relating this story perfectly. And I also love the way she added the giggle in Feeny. Again, that's not in the score. It's not. It's adorable, and also it's such a fun play on words. This is so well written. Let's go back and listen to it and enjoy it all.
I'll put up with Puccini. I'll brew myself a cup of tea. Crochet until she's feeny. 8:30, not a peep, except the clock tick-tocking. Now I lay me down to sleep. A comfy bed to rest my head. A stretch, a yawn, I'm almost gone then.
Oh, this is about to have another switch, and we'll get to it in just a moment. But listen to the slow timbral shifts here as well. She is a master of gradually shifting things just a tiny bit to add more to her story. You hear more yawn entering the voice, which also kind of goes a little bit towards opera, actually. So you hear a little more yawn in the sound, like more space. Like, sounds like she's getting sleepy there. She's even doing the yawn. And then she also does...
Now I lay me down to sleep. A comfy bed.
Right there, a comfy bed. You hear the sound just get a little more warm. So she's telling the story, and then as soon as she's getting in bed, the sound instantly gets warmer. She's doing that back here too, just spacing in her pharynx. It's so cool. I love it. Okay.
To rest my head, a stretch, a yawn, I'm almost gone then. Do is what you taught of, do spill it, deploy, now the girl upstairs.
That's right. Full on blasted jazz. Kristin can do that too. I love the scatting elements. It has that casual feel to it. It feels like it's tossed off at the same time as being extremely accurate. Very, very much Ella Fitzgerald suddenly. It's great.
Now the girl upstairs wakes me unawares, blowing down from 15G, her reveille. She's scatting like her name is Ella, guess who answers a cappella? I'm not one to...
So that part I've worked on with many students. I've worked on the song with many students. I've sung it too. But that part where it's going in the bottom with zoot and then ahs on the top, it is really rangy. She doesn't make it sound rangy. To have a lot of focus in that bottom sound is in her chest voice. A lot of coloratura sopranos don't have a chest voice. It can really easily enter like that and carry like that. And she doesn't press into her chest voice. She just very like easily focuses it. It's like the technique that every single coloratura soprano needs to learn. It's amazing. And then she goes up to the top just like, oh, whatever, it's there. She's not pushing. Opera naturally has more lung pressure underneath, and that's occurring, but it's not overly done. You don't see tons of tension there. It's just very impressive. And in the bottom, it's really forward in the sound and more casual in the diction, a lot more, there's got to be more happening in the mouth here in the front. And then she gets to the opera and she stretches up. It has, again, more of that dome that she's entering. I love the way she's flipping even visually between these two different characters. Let's go back.
Blowing down from 15G, her reveille. She's scatting like her name is Ella. Guess who answers a cappella? Zoot-doo-doo-boy-doy. Zoot-doo-doo-boy-doy. I'm not one to raise my voice,
So impressive.
make a fuss, or speak my mind, but might I query, would you mind if, could you kindly, I don't know how to say this one. That felt good. Stop. 13 to 15.
I love the victory of that moment. Her extended belt is so stable. It's well placed. It doesn't sound like it's straining at all, but it sounds powerful at the same time. I love it. I love the way she added this little bit. Like, I don't know how to say this, but could you? That's not in the score. That's just Kristin again. She's adding so much character and so much life to this song. Yes, it was written for her, but she even made it her own beyond that. It's amazing. We're going to go back to that moment because it's one of my absolute favorite. It makes me giggle every single time.
I don't know how to say this one. Stop. That felt good.
And in this long note, you can even hear that she's reasserting it at different times. And that helps you get a little more sense of how that rhythm is being maintained as well. I think it's really fun, subtle, and exciting technique she's doing. I'll go back so you can hear it again.
That felt good. Stop. 13 to 15, 14G. I'm a unlikely trio. Now a 3-part harmony.
Love the yodel in that. She can totally belt that top part, but she was like, no, because this is not quite 3-part. She doesn't feel like she needs to belt through the whole line. She's playing with the line instead, just like she's been playing the entire song. It's so much fun to hear also how she's playing with the placement of the belt. Sometimes she does bring it a little bit more nasal, and sometimes she'll bring it a little bit just more behind the eyes. She's playing with it and having so much fun with her sound. It's delightful. Okay, let's go here. I have to talk about this too. The writing is amazing because it speeds up during the stop part. And those are long notes. So I gotta tell you, singers that I've worked with on this one, they always feel very, very happy during that speeding up. I did too when I was singing. Okay. So it speeds up. Thank goodness for that. Kristin doesn't need it, but some of us do. So it speeds up, and yeah, because these are long, long, long notes. And then at the very end, it slows down as if it's coming to this big climactic moment. This tempo shift in here really makes the moment where she starts belting and becoming her own kind of singer amidst this opera and jazz singer worth the wait. It's worth that buildup. It feels so satisfying. I love the writing. Let's go back one more time and listen to how great that is.
13, 15, 14, I'm unlikely trio, not quite three-part harmony. All day, all night, we're singing.
That section is one of the fastest flips between these two characters. Notice how she gets closer on the jazzy section. That section, because it's jazzy, you don't want it to be too pressed, especially. So if you want that like little more airy sound, a little more personal kind of sound, she gets up close to the mic there. I like that mic technique. And the stop, I love the way she's again really showing us by each of the direction of the characters what character she's playing at that moment. And then when she gets up to the top operatic moment there, if you didn't catch it already, it is a quote from Swan Lake. So now we have Tchaikovsky in the mix. So we've had Wagner, Mozart, and Tchaikovsky all in the same song that is primarily sung as musical theater and also have little snippets of jazz. It's so impressive. Okay, we're gonna go back and listen to that because it's amazing.
All day, all night, we're singing.
In addition, listen to how quickly she has to take breaths between. These are catch breaths. If you are not extremely ready for these switches, which are huge shifts in the voice, it's not going to happen. And she's so prepared and she does it in less than a second each time. One more time. This is amazing. This is truly amazing. We're going to do one more time here. Look at the lips. Look at the way she rounds them more when she's singing opera versus a musical theater, especially belting. You tend to have flatter lips when you're belting. You tend to be trying to make that vocal tract a little bit more narrow or a little bit less long. And opera tends to round the lips more. Really good technique and understanding of styles. Even has a growl. You know what? Just because it's so good, we're going to watch that one more time from this moment. And just take a moment to appreciate again the endurance of this. It is ranging everywhere. She goes up to high D at one point. I think she goes down to like a low G. It's so rangy. And then this ending part is just sustained belting. And she doesn't sound tired at all. This would normally be one of the most tiring parts of the song right here at the end. She's not tired at all. It's amazing. She's brilliant. Totally brilliant. She lights up the stage. not only with fantastic vocal technique, but also amazing presence and acting. I love the tiny amounts that she can tweak that vocal track to get just a slightly different sound, and she knows all of those gradations in between, and she's able to add and take away in just like these tiny fractions. So impressive. And to be able to also flip between really major placements on the drop of a pen, it's incredible. It's really amazing. I just love the way that she's taken a song that was written for her and made it even more hers. I think she is such a fun artist to watch, and I greatly admire all of her achievements. Whenever she puts her mind to something, she seems to just go do it and do it really, really, really well. Love it. Love it. So thank you so much for joining me and nerding out about the girl in 14G and Kristin Chenoweth. Thank you all. I hope that you'll keep joining me on every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. Arizona time. And you can also write to me in YouTube comments and let me know what else you would like for me to review on this channel. You can find me on Patreon too. We have some awesome recommendations from our patrons as well. And if you want to learn more about singing or music in general, you should check out thecharismaticvoice.com. I hope to see you somewhere soon.